Welcome back. Thanks for having coffee with me this morning. Living Waters. So, we're continuing this talk, this abide talk, right? This third understanding of the word abide, perhaps not the way we always use it. In fact, I think Webster even categorizes as an archaic understanding anyway. But yes, this constantly being present without fading away or going missing. Okay, so that's what God does. God abides. And so, I turn us to Habakkuk, chapter 3, or Habakkuk, depending on your emphasis in the word. HBAKKUK. The Old Testament late prophet. One of the two books we hadn't used yet, which means, yes, the last book didn't work for this week. So, good old Zechariah will have to wait for the perfect week. It's a very pointed book. It'll happen. We will use every book in Scripture. Anyway, but for today's book, Habakkuk, we have, I think, a good prophetic understanding of God abiding, right? We have the Torah understanding, the Kings, that'd be too complicated for a 5-minute video. But the prophets, however, how does God abide, right? It's always usually this scary judgment, and there is plenty of that in Habakkuk. But I draw us to verses 17 through 20. Trust and joy in the midst of trouble. Right? So the rest of the chapters so far have been the prophet, praying to God. There's those bad things happening. Whereas discerning where God's wrath is versus just bad in the world, etc., etc. And this is kind of this resolution, if you will. There's a common formula in prophetic writings that we have this discerning and lifting up everything that's wrong with the world, kind of like a sermon, actually. All the issues, and then this resolution, this coming together and finding the goodness of God in the midst of it. So we're going to go right to the ending. Specifically verse 18. I rejoice in the Lord, I exult in the Lord of God my salvation. God is the Lord my strength. God makes my feet like the feet of a deer, and makes me tread upon the heights. Right? This is the dramatic ending. That look, even in the worst of times, as the kingdoms are literally crumbling around this prophet, as the people refuse to turn from their wicked ways, as God's law is continually broken again and again, the world feels like it's ending to Habakkuk. He still sees the goodness of God. He still sees God's salvation still breaking in, bringing new life, bringing hope for a better world, that this won't be the end of the world, right? So that's often how God abides. I think God has been abiding with us in this pandemic as we've languished and gone through it, but God's also been providing us hope. We talk about that all Lent long. God has been giving us new life, breaking through the cracks of our pandemic life, if you will. God has been abiding in all that is good and all that has helped us get through this year. And I think God is abiding in the ways that will help get us out. In the vaccine research, in the safety, in the love and support of friends and family, and the things we do too. God abides in those ways. Great. Okay. So, tomorrow we will venture to the New Testament for our last 3 videos this week. And so, the next one we have to hit is a gospel. We have to go there because it is a central theme to that gospel. Let's see if you can guess. I'll see you tomorrow.